One, two, three. Release them. Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you guys are doing pretty well. I'm doing fine, and today we're just gonna be talking about another thing, like we do on this channel. We find multiple things to talk about, and then we just talk about or yap about them for well, a while, I'll say. So I don't know. Grab something to eat, something to drink, buckle up. We're just gonna be talking about random stuff. Let's go. All right, so the first story says something like this: can you be a nurse, particularly an LPN, and not draw blood? Okay, first of all, I'm not squeamish. I just suck. So I'm considering going back to school to get my LPN certification. However, when I was in high school, I went to trade school for my last 2 years and got my phlebotomy license. Expect I suck at it. I got my required stake by drawing the same people over and over again. I miss on everyone else to afford the stake myself, and probably any patients I will encounter. I don't hurt anyone really. No. I don't know. It was really weird. I said I don't want to hurt or I don't hurt. No, no, I don't hurt anyone really. I'm just always miss. I just always miss. I was wondering if it's possible to become a nurse without drawing much blood, and what specialties I can go where I can avoid it the most. I don't know. I can never read, bro. I really don't know what's up with me when it comes to some stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a really long sentence with no punctuation, and then therefore my mind doesn't know when to stop and when to just keep going. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's not even the subject of today's video. So, like, the thing that Opie is saying is he or she's asking if you can draw blood. Well, not draw as much as possible, not draw blood as much as possible, or just go be a nurse without drawing blood. I'll say it's possible, and he or she pretty much answered the questions by typing in, because she mentioned like specialties and stuff like that, but he or she was not really, well, let's just say he, for the sake of it, he was not really sure about what specialty it was. But I'm gonna give my take on this whole thing. Of course, like, the first thing is I just suck. If you know you suck, or if you know there's a problem with a specific skills, there's always room for improvement, because I believe like the first step for improvement is acknowledgement. So at least you acknowledge the fact that, hey, there's something that I'm generally not good at, and therefore there are things or steps I can do from other people who are good at it, so I can become good at it as well. So it's not just a matter of I'm not interested or I'm squeamish, because like the first thought of it, like the first thing you will think about as soon as you're done reading the title of the specific comment or post, it will be like, oh my god, I don't like drawing bloods, or I don't like blood, therefore I cannot go into nursing, which could be a little bit of a, I'll say, something to consider, because like most of the nursing school will see blood. Nursing residency, you'll see blood until you choose specialties where you don't have to see as much blood, or maybe you don't have to draw as much blood. But I do know, like, in a regular med surg unit, based on maybe the facilities you're working on, they might have like phlebotomists to draw the bloods for you, or might have, I don't know, maybe the aide might be certified, and therefore the aide will draw the blood for you automatically whenever you do have an order to draw bloods for specific patients. But I'll say, like, for this specific case, it's not a matter of I really don't want to draw it, or a matter of like I suck at it. Therefore, I think like there's stuff you can do to become better at it. Maybe go on Amazon. As I'm saying this, let me go on Amazon to see if there's a way you can get like a arm to practice stuff. Yeah, you got everything on Amazon, bro. I'm typing this thing right now, and I think I've seen one. Yeah, so type this. You literally have practice kit. You can, well, it's $105. I don't know how much it's gonna be after shipping, but hey, if something that you're really interested about, go ahead and knock yourself out. But yeah, so I'll say you suck at it. Like, the first step is acknowledgement. You actually acknowledge the fact you are not good at it. Therefore, there's like stuff you can do in order to become good at it. First thing, reach out to somebody that's really good at it and try to shadow them, or try to make them teach you whatever it is, tricks and stuff they do on a regular basis that just make their life easier, and therefore that will make your life easier as well. Or just do it over and over again. Like he did a pretty good thing there by doing it over and over again on the same people. Well, I'm not gonna say it like this, on people, which is, I'll say, on one of the first step as well. Like, if you're not really good at it, just keep doing it over and over again. But also, like, the downside of doing it on the same people is having a technique without even knowing it, which is the craziest part. Because if you were really bad at it and you really suck, you couldn't get it on anybody, trust me. So you did get it on some people, even if it's like the same people over and over again. One thing that you have to do right now is take a step back and see what it is you do with these specific people. So you do the same thing for people A when you have to draw blood for people A, B, even if it's like the same thing you do over and over again. Is there like a specific technique you did? Is there like a specific cause you use based on the specific veins, or based on the specific, I really don't know, whatever it is you're trying to do beside of drawing blood. So what are the exceptions? What are the things that change from someone from people A to people B? And try to dive into these things and see if you can do it on other people as well, or if you can, well, not even do it on other people. I'll say try to think about it, try to think about it out loud. Try to draw it on the table, like step 1 do this, step 2 do this, step 3 do this, and then you will actually map everything out and kind of like see what's changed. If you cannot just like do it manually, mentally, you would just like see what's changed, and then therefore you just go and you do it over again and try to do it on other people. Of course, you have this like fear factor where you told yourself like, hey, I'm suck at it, therefore I kind of expect like you doing really bad on other people. You also mentioned the fact that you were doing bad on other people as well, like new people who haven't done that over and over on. So this, I'll say the first step to greatness. You're doing it over and over again. You're getting blood, you're not getting blood. The only downside is you have to stick to patient, and sometimes you'll have to explain that, like tell the patient why you're sticking them like over and over again, and be honest with them, or just try to find people who will be much more likely into giving you a chance to stick them more than twice, because I do know some people are not willing to that. And craziness, as I'm thinking about this, I had a similar problem when it comes to me taking blood sugar, right? When I first started, for me it was just a finger. There was like no specific I'll say section on the fingers where I can get much blood, but I later find out like, hey, you know what? The more I do it on the side, the way much more likely will be for me to get blood, and therefore not have to stick the patient twice. Or before that, I can try to massage the finger before I do it, and then when I stick the patient's blood will just naturally come out, instead of just like sticking the patient and then massaging it and then having to make it really hurt for them. So at the very beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I had to stick a patient more than twice and tell the patient, oh, I'm sorry, they want me to do it again. That was not me lying, though. That was not me lying when I said they want me to do it again. It was pretty much like me sticking you, not getting enough blood, and the machine telling me there is not enough blood, and me telling them like, hey, you know what, I have to do it again. But I did have a patient one time being like, you're not gonna stick me again. You are the first one that actually did that to me, and the patient was about to leave AMA, to be honest. And well, I'm sorry about that if somehow you find my videos and you're watching this. It was not really a me problem. Was there a me problem? Yeah, it was a me problem. I'm sorry. Is that malpractice? Oh my god, am I recording something against my will? Well, not against my will, because I'm literally recording this now. But I'll just say, to just end this, do it over and over again and talk to people who do it well, and then like make them see you doing it so they can give you feedbacks in real time, so you can improve. You suck at it, just keep doing it until you get better at it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna read some comments now. A lot of people saying lab, phlebotomy, draw labs on MedSearch. That is not always the case, and I dare I say not the wrong. You just pick up shift in the ER. They start a lot of their practice make perfect. That's what I'm saying. You keep doing it over and over again. I would take a phlebotomy class. I wouldn't handicap myself off my opinion, because I like a skill that's easily buildable. Exactly, because a bunch of people are coming in out of high school, or maybe not out of high school, just people who generally want to do better for themselves and want to find like a better job. Therefore, they start like by taking a phlebotomy class because it's kind of like an entry point to hospital job, to be honest, which comes to good insurance and also other benefits as well. And then, they generally don't know anything about draining bloods, anything about veins, and then therefore just like go to take the class. I really don't know how long it is, probably a 3 months, 6 months stuff. Not even 6 months, I think it's 3 months maybe, to, draw bloods, and then therefore they become good at it as they're doing it over and over again. I'll say not really focus on the fact that you suck at it or you're bad at it, because hey, you already know that. Try to find something else you don't know, which is how to get better at it, therefore, and then put all your time and dedication to, becoming good at it. The second one says, yes, yes, come to the ER, love ER, stay in ER. But the one of the downside with her or with him coming down to the ER is the fact that at the beginning he will have to, I should say they will have to stick patient more than twice, which in the ER is not always something that some people are into because generally feel sick, they don't really know why they're here, and then you have to poke them more than 3 times. That is necessary, and then you have to explain them like, hey, I'm new, I'm just trying to get. No, don't. Well, that's one of the downside. But the good thing is, as you're doing it over and over again, I'm not gonna lie, if you're sticking people like all the time for 12 hours in the ER 3 times a week, and then in the 1 month you should be good at it. Trust me, because there's a lot of people you're gonna have to stick. And the third and last comment says, yes, but getting good at blood draw and IVs come with just missing a lot and watching others do it, having them coach you too. Exactly. That's why I was talking about like, hey, having somebody who's really good at it, giving you feedbacks how you're doing it in real life. I stuck at IVs for a while, but eventually it clicks. We still have our off days though. Yeah, that's for sure. Even if I never put an IV on, I'm certified to do so that's why I don't. Assisted living, school nurse, hospice, case management, and psych tends to not draw bloods. Exactly. But as a nurse, though, I wouldn't stay away from a skill just because I'm bad at it, because you never really know when you're gonna have an opportunity that will ask for the specific skills that you're bad at. And then the craziest thing is you are generally bad at it, and having a mentor or having someone that can coach you is not something you can find now, but there was possibility, there was time in the past for you to learn the skill, but you just like shy away and stay away from it. So I wouldn't really say like, hey, you know what, because you're bad at it, just go find something that does not involve you doing it. It's kind of like you're setting yourself back for failure, or closing some doors or maybe some opportunities which might be open in the future. So I'll say just, suck it up, find somebody who can help you do it, and then do it. Exactly. It all depends on where you work, which is true though. But the good thing about this company that it did say some of the spaces that does not really require her to draw blood, which is assisted living. And I was thinking about that too, because what are the likelihood of you drawing blood in a nursing home? If anything, patients become unstable, they have to draw blood, they will send the patient to the hospital, and the hospital will actually do all the drawing blood and stuff like that. School nurses, same too. If the child is not well or not feeling well, child will be sent home. That's the reason why school nurses is a good option as well. A hospice, it's pretty much as the same as assisted living. Hospice, you don't really have to draw blood and monitor some specific labs which will necessitate you to draw blood and then send this blood and then have the result, and then managing whatever it is. Because hospice, pretty much like you already know what the patient has, and we're managing what the patient has. We're not trying to find any new things, and if there is any new complication that does comes, I think they go straight to the hospital. Case management, of course, you're not doing any patient care. Patient interaction, yes, but not really patient care. Maybe that will necessitate you to draw blood from a patient. Psych, well, maybe I don't really want to say psych psych maybe, because I'll say psychological issues or psychological diagnosis that might make a patient come to a hospital are really wild in ranges. So not necessarily for psych, but I do see a patient be really combative and people not trying to draw blood from this patient because the patient's gonna beat you up if you try to draw blood or even stick an IV, because they're just gonna pull the IV out. So I kind of get it now. That's it. So I'll say thank you for watching this. I yap a little much, a little too much today, to the point where I did my confession with me drawing blood sugar for the first time on patients. This was rough, and I think it was like a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago. I'm doing better now. Not gonna lie. I'm fast, I'm sweet, I do it efficiently. Patients are not even feeling it sometimes. So I know how to do the job. Don't worry about me. So I'll say thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.